In a small mountain village, surrounded by majestic forests, preparations were underway for the celebration of Village Day. The locals were excited about the upcoming event, enjoying the performances of musicians, picturesque fairs, and traditional dishes. But strange events began to unfold in the woods surrounding the village, which no one paid attention to. In the evening, just before the festival, a hunter named Sergei set out for an evening hunt. He knew these woods like the back of his hand and was confident he could bring home some trophies. However, the deeper he ventured into the forest, the more he felt that something was off. The woods were darker than usual, and the sounds of nature grew tense in their heart. Suddenly, Sergei stumbled upon fresh bear tracks, a large, dangerous shadow lurking near the village. Not wanting to take risks, he quickly returned to the village and reported his findings to the local authorities. However, as they prepared for the celebration, the village officials took his words lightly. "It's just rumors," came their comments, and the hunter was sent off to mind his own business. The next morning, the festivities kicked off in full swing, and the atmosphere resembled calmness. The townsfolk laughed, enjoyed themselves, and took selfies against the backdrop of the joyful celebrations. But to their great surprise, they noticed a bear, attracted by the sounds of merriment and the aromas of food, approaching the square. The first reaction was one of awe and delight. People wanted to capture a moment of wild nature close by. But the bear, clearly unwilling to share its space, became increasingly aggressive. Meanwhile, the local police, consisting of several officers, ventured into the woods to create a security cordon and prevent any incidents. The officers chatted cheerfully, laughing and joking among themselves, thinking that this situation could be easily managed. But when they encountered the bear, their confidence quickly evaporated. The bear, searching for humans, unveiled its might. It growled, and the hearts of the officers trembled with fear. They managed to distract it for a moment, but the bear was full of fury for the invasion of its territory and, without hesitation, charged at the group. In the chaos, the bear attacked the first officer, knocking him to the ground. The noise and cries hindered the police's coordinated response, and as a result, the bear rampaged through the group, inflicting blows and leaving confusion in its wake. Initial panic overwhelmed everyone present. People, realizing what was happening, began to scatter, each to their own direction. Cries for help and the sounds of spreading fear filled the air. The villagers didn't know how to act. Each tried to find shelter, hiding in their homes and shops. But the bear was relentless. It sensed its victory and slowly left the scene, leaving sorrow and destruction in its wake. Meanwhile, in one of the empty tents, a young man named Misha, also a witness to the incident, decided not to run, but to stay and understand what was happening. He struck up a conversation with the local zoologist, who had once successfully worked with wild animals. They concluded that the bear's behavior could be unpredictable and, perhaps, fluctuations in its activity pattern indicated something more significant. Together, they devised a plan that could save the villagers and eliminate the threat. The next morning, unflinching despite his scars, the zoologist met with the villagers to discuss their troubles. He explained that the bear might be hungry or had been cut off from its natural food source, which could compel it to seek easy prey. The locals agreed to act together to draw attention to wildlife and determine how to help the bear. However, all did not go according to plan. the bear returned to the village with even greater fury. The gathered groups who had come to hold discussions with the zoologist found themselves trapped. The bear, approaching the edge of the celebration, terrorized the village once more. This time, the zoologist, noticing its predatory behavior, gathered a group of people and insisted on unique actions, using bait to distract the bear instead of panicking. However, this plan also fell apart. His own strategies quickly crumbled before the might of wild nature. When the noise died down, silence reigned in the village once again. The local authorities returned to the site of the incident, but no one was prepared for what they would see. Vast signs of destruction remained after the bear, and amidst the scene were injured and bewildered villagers trying to cope with the aftermath. At that point, the next morning turned into a nightmarish vision instead of a peaceful day. People began to lose faith in the safety of their village. Deciding to seek help from professional hunters, they called in experienced individuals who had previously dealt successfully with similar situations. The hunter expedition group agreed to assist but warned that the bear might be more furious and defensive than it appeared. The next day, the group of hunters arrived in the village, already geared up to hunt. They set traps and prepared to track it down. However, the bear was cunning. It skillfully evaded their traps, staying a step ahead of the humans. One of the hunters, experienced and ruthless, grumbled that perhaps they should abandon the usual methods of hunting. Not knowing what to do, the hunters decided to establish communication with the locals. Gathering at an emergency meeting, the villagers began to discuss whether the village could start an outreach campaign focused on addressing nature and preventing conflicts with wildlife. Soon the initiative evolved into a real movement, gaining increasing popularity. People began to connect with wildlife preservation organizations and participated in trainings and seminars held in the village. Despite all the horror and fear, hope arose among the residents. This tragedy transformed their perception of nature. Over time, they began to respect wild animals and found another, more harmonious way to coexist with the surrounding world. The bear, remaining a symbol of the power of wildlife, embodied the strength of respect and collaboration. This marked the beginning of a new path for the village, filled with understanding of what needed to be done for stable and safe coexistence with wilderness.